Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and this is Vigorelli Institute. Now this video is a viewer request. Andre, welcome. Took me a little bit to get the research done on this, but I managed. Hopefully I got the right versions of everything. So, we're talking about the Avengers and how their Chinese elements kind of lined up on an individual basis. Now, when I say Avengers, that's big. There's lots of those. And yes, this is Marvel. And no, it is not Disney. Screw Disney. Okay? Disney sucks. Now, feel free to yell at me in the comments for that. But Disney clearly sucks. Okay? So what we're going to talk about is the classic Avengers. Now, the Avengers as a team in comic books goes all the way back to, I believe, the 1960s Marvel. Okay? Back when they were created. So you got Thor, you've got Iron Man, you've got the Hulk, you've got Spider-Woman, and so many others. Okay? Now, there are some of them that not exactly well fleshed out. Others that are like, yeah, we know everything about this person. So it depends on how deep in the lore we're gonna go. And some of it I read through was like, God, I can do a video on this person. They're so deep. Okay? Which I probably will on Tony. I might go a little bit deeper on him and really flesh him out in a video. But, let's dive in. Now, the Avengers as a team are, I would call, a reactionary force. Okay? Something bad happens that is larger in scale than any one superhero can handle. So the Avengers handle things on like a global scale. Okay? They are about big, nasty alien invasions, crazy people trying to destroy literally everything, etc. Okay? As we saw in, I will give you this, the Avengers movie, right at the end of the knots. Was it in the middle? I forget. Anyway. So, that makes them fairly woody. Okay? So in the team itself, I would say it's all about wood. Okay? Because they're branching out, they're going everywhere. They do have a home base. It is Stark Tower / Avengers Tower in New York City, which, by the way, there is actually a mod for in City Skylines, and I have it because I'm just that kind of a nerd. So with that, they go out, they mess some stuff up, and then they come home. Okay? Meanwhile, other teams, like, say, the X-Men, they're a little bit more proactive. But I did an episode on the X-Men a long time ago. A few years, actually. Anyway. With the Avengers, again, it does depend on when you are talking and who's writing it as to how they behave. But basically, they're the same. So let's jump into the big major piece, the poster child of the Avengers, and the leader, Captain America. Not Tony Stark. He's the financer and kind of a tank. Okay? So Captain America, he's just a regular guy who happens to be a super soldier. He is a man out of time, and yes, that is a comic book run that was done. Okay. He's just a kid from Brooklyn. Okay, that's all he is. He's actually a very humble person, and he's very much so a Boy Scout. Okay, even honestly more than Superman. Okay. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty, but he's always, seeking to protect. He never attacks unless attack is part of defense. Yes, you can do that. Okay. So, where does that put him? Well, let's get into a little bit deeper. He knows the difference between good and evil. He's very stoic, and meaning he doesn't freak out. Okay, a lot of people say, well, stoicism's bad. No, it isn't. Stoicism is actually very good. It helps you maintain your mental health, and you don't get bogged down, and you don't spiral. Okay, I used to spiral, trust me. So, the guy's a soldier. Okay, so that makes him very kind of a combination of metal and wood. Okay? But interestingly, he's not fully bellicose. Okay, meaning he doesn't want to fight. He fights out of necessity. So that puts him a little bit more metal side. But he's also good. He's also nice. He takes care of people. Okay, the whole reason he is there is because he wants to get rid of evil. Okay, whatever that may look like. That is water. Okay. But, he's not sitting you down like, the Federation and saying, okay, here's where you screwed up. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to fix everything for you, get you working right, and then you're going to be our friend and all that. No, that's not how this works. Okay. So he's about fixing things, but when he's done and the cleansing is over, later, I'm going home. Okay, to await the next mission. Okay, so that, I would say, primarily metal, some wood in there, and then a little bit of water, just to, take the edge off. Okay, calm him down some, all right? I don't really see a lot of fire in him. And I don't see a lot of earth. Okay, yes, with fire, there's gallivanting. He does have some charisma. I mean, you look at him and you're like, oh my gosh, you're cool. Okay, that's fire. But he doesn't act fire. He doesn't sell. He doesn't go out and, shaking hands, kissing ladies and babies and all this, being everybody's friend. That's fiery. Okay? That's somebody else. Okay? So that's where I put Captain America. Now, next down, we've got, by the way, Captain America is Steve Rogers. Anyway, Iron Man, Tony Stark. Okay? Who is Iron Man? Now, Tony Stark, totally different from Captain America, from Steve Rogers. This guy, born very rich, lots of toys. The guy's a super genius. Okay. He's all about doing stuff, creating stuff. Okay. That's his primary drive. Okay. Which is surprisingly wood. Okay, he's got a good sizable amount of wood in him, but I don't think that's primarily the piece. Okay, because he changes when he adapts. Okay, he comes up with new things, and yes, there's a basis that he works from. Every single Iron Man suit he's ever created has had a basis. Okay, but one, the suit's made out of metal. Made out of different metals, I should say. And two, he's not aggressively bellicose, okay? He's purposely bellicose. Bellicose means willing to fight, okay? Just like Cap. So he is one of the good guys, okay? So that means he's metal, okay? But he's not stoic and hard. There was actually a bit that he did in his 70s or 80s where the guy became an alcoholic. A very famous run, actually. I can't remember what it's called. And because of all the stress he was under, running the Avengers, saving the world every other weekend, etc. The guy, he turned to drink, and he went crazy. Okay? That's fire. Oh, yeah. Not only that, Tony's bravado, okay? He's out, picking up supermodels on his day off and taking them back. He's going out gallivanting all over the world, spending his money, having fun, but both before and after he's Iron Man. Okay. He is the face of Stark Industries. He is also the face of the Avengers. But Richard, you said that Captain was. Yes. In their active state. In their inactive state, it's Tony. Okay? So Tony, I'm going to put him primarily metal with a substantial amount of fire in on top of it. Okay, so he's very, very liquid, very loosey-goosey, always adapting, always changing, going out. And he does have a base, so he's got a lot of wood. Okay, I don't see a lot of water in him. And Earth, what are you talking about? Yes, he's financing things, but you don't walk into Stark Tower and he says, hey, can I get you a sandwich? I'll cook it for you. Don't worry about it. You hungry? Come here, sit down. Okay? He doesn't do that. He doesn't care. Okay? He's not really in charge of cleanup. That's other people. Okay? Leave that for S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay? So, next up, we've got Bruce Banner. Okay, that will be the trifecta. The main central piece. Okay. Now, I'm not going to include Hulk here because Hulk smash. Gee, I wonder what it is. Okay, so Bruce Banner, extremely intelligent. Yeah, I mean, the guy figured out basically gamma ray mutation. Okay. And he's working on how to reverse it. That's the whole point of his arc. By the way, I recommend the 1970s Hulk TV show. So good. Also, the 1990s kids cartoon. Absolutely beautiful. Okay? Builds on the 1960s, 1970s lore of Hulk. Now, with him, the guy's extremely intelligent. He's not really a teacher, though. Okay? And he's always moving, okay? Even as an Avenger, because of the nature of the Hulk, he cannot stay in one place. Because if he does, he runs the risk of damaging things, okay? He's also very reserved, kind of quiet, and in the comics and everything else before Disney, you don't really see a lot out of Bruce Banner. You see a lot more out of the Hulk. Okay? So that tells me, metal baby, oh yeah, but he's different. Okay? Because he's interested in knowledge, he's got a lot more water to it. Okay? But he's got just enough. He's mostly metal. Okay? That's the egghead thing going on. So he's got a lot of water in there, but it's equal amounts with the fire. And it's like a distant. It's a mutual second between two elements with a distant to the first one being metal. Okay? I don't see a lot of wood in him exactly, other than it's hidden, and that's the Hulk. The Hulk is like 100% wood. If you want to see the poster child for wood, look at the Hulk. Okay? There you go. And it's about all I've got with him. Okay? Hawkeye. Honestly, the Hawkeye is to the Avengers as Aquaman is to the Super Friends. Yeah. He's just kind of there. He's got a bow and arrow. His character's not really fleshed out. Deal with it. Moving on. Okay, Natasha. Now, Natasha is Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow. And by the way, here is one thing that Disney got completely wrong. There is no school for Black Widows. Okay? They don't have them running around. We would have noticed. Okay? She was a one-off. Okay, yes, there was a Russian spy school, and that's how she was trained, but they weren't trained to be Black Widows. Okay, Black Widow is her code name. Okay, not her designation. Big difference. Moving on. Now she's very secretive. She's friendly when she wants to be. She'll beat the living crap out of you, and she looks great doing it. Interestingly, though, although she's not capable of having children, she is capable of taking on a very nurturing side. Okay? So I would say her main piece is actually fire. One, because, she's always off gallivanting. She's a spy. She's an assassin. She doesn't get to have a home. Okay? And she actually likes it that way. That's her nature. So she's fire. Then she's got a ton of metal. Very close second there. That's the fighting, the purposeful surgical strikes, all of that. Okay? The stoic behavior. Okay? That's all metal. Okay? Deleting. Now, the nurturing side is, well, she doesn't fix anything. She just provides as is needed. Okay? That's Earth. She doesn't have a lot of Earth, though. It's very, very small. The other two are, I would say, very, very close or right under it. That would be water and wood. Okay. I don't really see a lot in that with her. Granted, we're also talking which version are you talking about, and I may have confused a few things, which is fair. Okay? All right, next up. Come here, brain. We did Hawkeye. Hawkeye's blah. Scarlet Witch. Okay. Now, back in the old days, Scarlet Witch was not a mutant. Then she was. It's really complicated in the comic books, more so than with frickin' Disney. But I'm choosing to go with the Inhuman version of her rather than the mutant version. Just because of the mutant version, we move into X-Men lore. Granted, in the comic books, the X-Men and the Avengers are in the exact same universe. They're on the exact same Earth, on all of the Earths, the way it is. Okay? Everything in Marvel happens on the same planet. And by the way, it does create a little bit of conflicting stories. Okay? So, Scarlet Witch, she is about chaos. Okay, so what her powers do is they change probability. Okay. So as she fights, so let's say there's this giant robot coming in, it's like, what she'll do is she'll reach out, snap her fingers, and it will change the probability of the stuff in the robot randomly failing. Okay. Like it'll develop a glitch or something and the thing falls apart. Okay. Her stuff may or may not happen. Okay. She does technically use magic. Okay. That's why she is called the Scarlet Witch. Okay. Now, she is actually very nice. Okay. She did go through a villain arc after she became a mutant and discovered she was Magneto's daughter. But for the most part, she was a good person. Ish. Okay. She is kind of interesting, I guess. Her character got fleshed out a little bit more when she became a mutant, so it's really hard to categorize her. Okay? Just because there's not a lot there other than what she does, which is all basically the exact same thing. I don't know. Fire? All right, moving on. So, Doctor Strange. Oh, lots on Doctor Strange. Let me tell you. But again, what version are we talking about? Okay? Say multiverse. Go ahead. I dare you. No. Doctor Strange is a surgeon. okay, who became a magician, again with the hands, that is comic book canon, and well before the movies, that is how he became a magician. Everything that you see in the story is, everything that you saw in the movie happened in the books. Ish. Okay. There's some stuff with Nana Parbat, or whatever the frack it's called. I might be crossing universes here. Anyway. He is very much so full of himself. He's got a tremendous ego, and the reason for that is he's a doctor. Okay? You do not want a doctor who's very humble and so, it's okay, bro, I'm cool. Don't worry about it. No. You're like, yeah, I fixed you. You're welcome. Okay? Because the ones that are very, very quiet and reserved and all that, they're terrible doctors. Believe me. I used to be one. As soon as I grew an ego, I actually got a lot better at my job. Okay? And with him, he's the best surgeon on the planet, and he knows that. Hello? Okay? So, what's going to happen with him is he's pretty watery, because he's about cleansing things. He's about getting rid of things, okay? But he's also got a lot of fire in him, okay? That's the bravado, the aggression, okay? That gives him that tremendous ego, very similar to Tony. And there's actually quite a few issues where he and Tony, their egos clash a little bit, okay? Anyway, he is pretty reserved, obviously, magician, but more along the lines of secrecy, very similar to Natasha. So therein we get there's more of that metal influence, okay? But because of his nature as a healer, I'm leaning water with him, okay? When stuff goes wrong, he does do his best to set it right. That's water, okay? Yes, he does have a base. It's in New York. It's a mansion in New York, such as it is. And that gives him a little bit of a wood quality. But again, we're talking, what version are we talking about? I mean, there were 3 that came out of the 60s alone, okay? So I would put him primarily water. Probably second would be metal, and then a very close double third would be fire and wood. Not a lot of earth, okay? It's just kind of what I'm seeing. So that's about it. That's all I've got for you on that. So if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe for me. It really does help me out. And I do live streams on Wednesdays and Sundays, or any day that I've got a day off from work because things have happened for whatever reason. And websites are in the description. Feel free to check those out. I've got books, I've got merchandise. Go to vimandvigorelli.com for those. If you're interested in more of a Chinese astrological reading, you can go ahead and hit me up on veganmed.com. Send me a message there. And yes, it does cost, and you do have to pay in advance. Pay windows are available on the webpage. Okay? So, I'll be back later with something else. You guys take care. Bye-bye.